What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you my first impressions of Shadowrun Returns. Now, I'm a CRPG channel for the most part, though I do review other games as well, and as such, I like to go back and review older CRPGs and stuff in between newer releases. And Shadowrun Returns is one of the franchises that kind of saw the resurgence of the CRPG genre in the early 2010s. Returns originally released in 2013, though it has seen a couple deluxe edition style definitive director's cut type stuff since then. And while I was planning on playing through and reviewing this game, the Shadowrun Trilogy was actually 75% off during the Steam Winter Sale, so I was like, well, I better go ahead and pick this up, and decided to jump in and check it out a little bit. And the first game, Shadowrun Returns, shouldn't take me too long, as it is a fairly short story from what I understand. Average playthrough times tend to run about 12 hours, which brings me to the first of my impressions, and that is, so far, the game seems to be a very on-rails experience, because so far in the early game I've just been shuffled from one small location to one small location, with the story setup being that someone you used to work with, as a sort of fixer mercenary, has passed away, and his death triggers a message to be sent to you to see if you will investigate his death, which is of course the plot driver for the game. Now, while the experience has been pretty linear, so far I've really enjoyed the mood, the character building, and the world itself. Now, I don't pretend to be a master of all things Shadowrun, but my basic understanding of the world is that the games themselves are based off of a tabletop RPG, which is pretty par for the course for a lot of CRPGs, honestly. But also that we are a bit in the future, the 2050s, at least during this game anyway, but also that an event in 2012 called The Awakening sort of saw magic and just fantasy in general come back to the world, which due to some genetic stuff led to the other races just being born from humans, such as orcs, trolls, elves, etc. I'm kind of learning it as I go here because, again, pretty new to the series itself. So far, I've been liking that blend. I appreciate the modern world kind of mixed with this fantasy stuff. That's always been a bit of a rich source of storytelling as well as just fantasy potential in general. And moving along a bit, the combat in-game is a fairly straightforward action point system that you see in just a lot of these type of games, really, and anything turn-based. It does have the feature that I enjoy quite a bit, where your entire team takes its action, then the enemy team takes their entire actions, and that is something I've always felt kind of helps turn-based move along a little bit. I will say, though, one kind of gripe I have with Shadowrun Returns, at least, is that the game feels very stiff, and sometimes there's like a delay on your character actually doing the things you ask them to do, like walk. Sometimes you'll click on something and there's like this 2-second input lag, if you will, before the character actually does it, which can be a bit frustrating, honestly. But without rambling on too long here, my general first impressions are that the world building seems really cool. There's just still a lot I don't know, so I'm enjoying learning about it. I'm especially interested in starting to check out some of these corporations and stuff, as it's my understanding that in this world, people who live outside of the corporate structure aren't treated particularly well, because corporations have basically taken over as governments. So all of that's been pretty intriguing to me, and then I really enjoyed building my character and kind of just seeing their role-playing system at work. The combat itself is, again, so far, pretty straightforward, kind of par for the course, nothing really dramatic per se about it. And then I was a little underwhelmed with it being seemingly on-rails experience, which isn't always a bad thing, but in games like this where choices are supposed to be a big deal, I was hoping to see more of that going on. But there you go, guys, my initial impressions of Shadowrun Returns. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. But regardless of any of that, truly, just thank you so much for watching. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.